Welcome, my friend, to video number 2 here in Fitness Made a Lot Easier video series. In the previous video, we talked about the myths and misconceptions that hold you back, that are causing you to work twice as hard for half the results. Today, we're going to break down the simple 4-part strategy we're going to use in this course to make it a lot easier for you to look, feel, and perform at your best with much less work and effort. So strategy point number 1 is that we're going to take an objective-based approach to what we're trying to accomplish. And this is by far one of the most effective things you can do for helping you get better results. The reason is simple, because most of the advice in our fitness culture has nothing to do with actually making you successful or getting better results. It's instead telling you how much work you need to do or what kind of work you need to do. You go on YouTube and it's like, oh, these are the exercises you should do to build muscle, and this is how many sets you need in order to build muscle and strength, and these are the foods you should avoid if you want to have a flat belly or kill belly fat. It's kind of understandable where this advice comes from. It's because, yes, there is a very strong correlation between the work you do and the results you get. But when you make hard work the goal, you're still turning a blind eye to the thing you actually need to do, the objective you need to achieve, in order to get what you want. So what we're going to be doing is detailing exactly the objective you need to hit when it comes to healthy eating, fat loss, performance, building muscle and strength. And that way you have an actual target to aim at, and therefore you can do enough work to hit the target, but never wasteful work. The second strategy that we're going to implement in this course is essentially cutting the fat. I want you to really think about a possibility here, because I know this, looking back, this is certainly the case for me, and I see this a lot whenever I'm assessing folks' approach to fitness or looking at their programs. There's a lot of work going on out there that doesn't really do anything. And even if it does do something, it's a lot of work for very little benefit. And we're going to be looking at where people are wasting a lot of time and a lot of energy in their workouts, in their diet habits, in their lifestyle habits, that even if it's slightly working, a lot of times we're like, well, it's working, that must mean it's worthwhile. It's like, yeah, but you can go into a grocery store, buy a dozen eggs for $50, but we wouldn't necessarily say that, quote, works because you successfully walked out of the store with a dozen eggs. You're like, I've got a dozen eggs. That means the cost, justifies the means. It's like, yeah, but you paid $50 for it. It still kind of sucks. And that's the attitude we want to have when it comes to diet and exercise, is most of us are way overspending when it comes to diet and exercise, engaging in habits and practices that, even if they work a little bit, are just not worth the amount that you're putting in. And instead, we're going to be looking at the big things that do produce a very high level of influence on your results that come at the minimalist or the smallest cost possible. Strategy number 3 in making things a lot easier is using what I call a multi-influential approach for your success. And one of the biggest reasons why people are working 2, 3, 5 times harder than they should is because they're trying to make big things happen from small habits, things that don't really have that much of an impact. Because remember that your success doesn't come from any particular diet or exercise habit or rule that you follow. It's how much influence you can have over the fundamental processes that govern your results. And most of the time when we're like, oh, okay, I want to lose fat, what should I do? And we pick on, well, don't eat this food, or don't eat sugar, or do this kind of cardio or whatever. These things can all work. They all can influence that process, but no influence can be all that powerful over the entire process. And so when we have a very narrow influential approach, you're trying to make big things happen from small habits. So what that means is you have to really, really work hard at that habit. And no matter how much you work, it's only going to have a little tiny influence over that process in most cases. Worse yet, you're probably going to have compensation from other influences you're not paying attention to, which can completely undermine your progress as it were. So even though you're completely eliminating sugar or processed foods, or doing hours and hours of cardio, you're completely underscoring that effort by compensation habits. A multi-influential approach means that you don't try to build your castle on a single stone foundation of one rock. Instead, you have a much broader foundation with lots of legs. This has two benefits. The first of which is that collectively, each of these habits produces a much bigger influence on that process, so your results are far more substantial. But the other benefit is each of those habits that you have, the contributing influence of it, they don't need to go to extremes in order to be powerful. You don't really need to work all that hard at each one. So that way, you don't need to do anything to an extreme. You don't really need to work all that hard at any particular habit. And even better yet, it's a lot more sustainable. Because if any one or two of them gets knocked out, like, oh, I hurt my ankle, I can't do any cardio for several weeks, that's perfectly fine. You've got many other influences that are still supporting your success. So if you lose track or you can't maintain a couple habits for whatever reason, it's not really going to have a detrimental impact on you. And then finally, the fourth strategy we're going to be implementing in this course is finding ways to achieve a better sense of personal alignment. Because so much of your ability to achieve the success you want isn't about the diet or exercise habits you practice or how easy and efficient they are, but how well they align with your resources and your abilities. Workout programs that fit your schedule, diets that fit your food preferences, exercise programs that work with your skills and proficiency. Because a lot of times people are spending a lot of effort, wasting a lot of effort, trying to force their square pegs into round holes because some experts said this is the best way to do this or this is the thing you should do, when the fact is you're probably much better off using something else just because it works better for you. And this is why there is no single dogmatic optimal diet or exercise program that's going to fit everybody, because we're all different. And furthermore, you're constantly changing. What's better for you now may be different for what's better for you a year from now as you continue to grow and evolve as a human being. And you want your habits to do so as well. Staying in a dogmatic approach to any diet or exercise habits eventually pulls you out of alignment, which makes you work twice as hard, has a lot more stress on body, mind, and lifestyle, while at the same time drastically compromising your ability to influence the fundamental process and therefore get the results you want. So these four strategies are the tools that you want to implement to answer the be-all, end-all question of what's the best way to get what you want? What's the best diet? What's the best workout? What's the best exercise? The answer is whatever is going to be the easiest way for you to pursue the fundamental objective that's responsible for your results, that's going to have the least amount of fat or fluff, if you will, with wasted time and effort, that's going to allow you to contribute to a multi-influential approach that's going to be a lot more effective and a lot more efficient and sustainable, and what's going to be in your best personal alignment. So whatever habits that are out there, whatever they may be, that achieves all four of those things is going to be whatever's best for you. And that's the thing that's going to be, quote, optimal, not what some expert claims to be optimal on some social media post. So in the next 3 videos, we're going to be diving into specifically what you can do to improve performance, improve healthy eating and body fat management, and building muscle and strength. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, be fit and live free.